everyone. Today is Monday, or actually today is Monday. I'm videotaping this on Monday, but this is Tuesday's work. Sorry about that. So this week we are going to be working on talking about compound sentences. Now this should be review. We worked on this at the very beginning of the school year, but I want to give a review before we go on to complex sentences next week because they are different. So I want to give you kind of a review on compound sentences this week. And then the next 2 weeks, we'll be working on complex sentences because it is a little bit tricky. So now you're probably wondering, what is she talking about? Or maybe you don't remember what compound sentences are. So let's kind of review some basic terminology before we get into what they are. So if you remember, a simple sentence is a sentence that tells a complete thought. It just has to have a noun and a verb. Those are the two things that you have to have. So anytime you write a sentence, it doesn't matter how short or how long it is, it has to have at least one noun and a verb. Okay? And I'm going to show you a couple examples here in a minute. So, then a compound sentence is made up of two simple sentences. So if I write two simple sentences that are kind of like closely related to each other, then I can put them into one big sentence. But I have to make sure that they are two separate sentences just put together into one big sentence. Okay? When we combine them into two simple sentences, there are some words that we have to put in the middle. Kind of like when we do math and we have like 5 plus 6, right? We have the plus sign in the middle to show that that they go together. With writing, we need to have a word in the middle to show that they go together. And on Thursday, you're going to watch Conjunction Junction, which is one of my favorite Schoolhouse Rock videos. But that's what these are. These are conjunctions. They're kind of like the plus sign that puts your two sentences together. So the ones we're focusing on today are the words and, but, or, and so. So those are the ones that you could see in a sentence if it's a compound sentence. Okay? Maddie likes to write stories. She likes to illustrate them. Those are two sentences, and they have to do with the same person. They have to both do with Maddie, and they both have to kind of like writing stories or making like a book or something. They're kind of like related. Okay, so we could put these into one big sentence, which would be called a compound sentence. Maddie likes to write stories, and she likes to illustrate them. So we took this first sentence, we copied it down exactly like it was. I added a comma instead of a period, and then I put the word and. And she likes to illustrate them. And then at the end of the two sentences was where my period went. My period didn't go in the middle. It went at the end of both sentences put together. Okay? The other thing I want to say is if you write a sentence that just talks about like more than one thing, but it's not two complete sentences. So if I say, I like spaghetti and ice cream, that's not a compound sentence, right? You have to have two separate sentences put together, okay? So it's really important that you understand that. So just because the sentence has the word and, but, or so in it, doesn't necessarily mean it's a compound sentence. Like for instance, if I write the sentence, so I went to the store, it has the word so in it, it's not a compound sentence. There's only one sentence. So the thing that we have to think about, the thinking question, is does the sentence tell one or two thoughts? So I went to the store is only one thought, right? And it only has one noun. It has a pronoun too, but one noun and one verb, right? But if I would write, I went to the store and then I went home, right? Those are two thoughts. Those are two places that I went, two nouns, okay? So let's look at some examples. She is such a fast reader, okay? First of all, it doesn't have any of these words in it, so already we know it has to be a simple sentence. And it only tells one complete thought. She is such a fast reader. Let's look at another example. My family reads, so we share books. Ooh. Now, one thing I would like to remind you of is if you could split the one sentence into two separate sentences without having to add extra stuff, then it most likely is a compound sentence. So let's look at this one. My family reads, comma, so we share books. What are the two sentences they put together? They took my family reads is one sentence, and then we share books is another sentence. And they smushed them together and did my family reads, comma, so we share books. Okay? The word so is usually with a cause and effect. Okay? So if you're going to use like my family reads, and because my family reads, so we share books. Okay, so that would be an example. Next week, we're going to get into a lot more of these conjunctions. So I really want to make sure that you understand this. Couple things. On today's assignment, I put a picture of this so you could see it close up, because I was a little bit worried that maybe with the videos, it's hard for you to see it really in detail. So I did put a picture of this anchor chart on there. That's the first thing. Second thing is, on your assignment for today, you have 2 assignments for grammar this week. Today's assignment is you just need to read the sentence and in the box write whether it's a simple sentence or a complex sentence. So like down here, how we said, she is such a fast reader, and we talked about how that's a simple sentence. If that was one of the examples on your assignment, you would just write simple, okay? And if you read this sentence, my family reads, comma, so we share books, we decided that's a compound sentence. And so if that was one of your sentences, you would just write compound in the box. So I hope that makes sense for you. If you have any questions, I do have office hours at 9 o'clock and 1 o'clock every day through the week except for Fridays. So if you have questions about how to do the assignment, or you don't quite understand the differences, I would love to meet with you. My information is on our classroom page if you have questions. Okay? I will talk to you later. Thanks so much. Bye.